Evening. I'd like to call to order the Wednesday, September 16th, 2020 regular meeting of the Airport Advisory Board. We begin our meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise and join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Kelly, would you conduct a roll call, please?
Brian Schultz.
Present.
Glenn Patterson.
Present.
Mark Taylor. Mark Zeef.
Here.
Shannon Stebbins.
Here.
Terrence Concannon. Tony Castlefort.
Here.
Ed Weber.
Here.
Katrin Phillips.
Present.
Jim Dolan.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have a quorum. Before we begin the meeting, most of the people here I don't know, so we'll start by introducing ourselves, and you can tell us a little bit about a very short synopsis of who you are and what you do. My name is Shannon Stebbins. I've been on the board for several years. 20 years military, UH-1s, OH-58s, C-12s, ATR-42s, aircraft barons. For first career, second career was airlines, Captain First Officer 727, Captain L-1011, Captain DC-10, Fleet and Charter Operations Manager and Chief Pilot. So we'll go down here to the end and just work our way around.
Start with me again?
Yes, please.
Tony Castlefort, and G450, 550 examiner and international captain. I lived here 38 years ago and decided to retire here, and I'm very excited to become a member of the board. Mark?
Mark Zeef. I've been on the board a couple years, and I'm just a passenger, worldwide, tourist, that's all. And I'm in sales. I also do direct sales to airplane hangars in many states around the tri-state area.
Good afternoon, Katrin Phillips. I'm newly joined as an alternate member. I'm 23 years in aviation, most of them on the commercial aviation side, airport operations, airport management for international carriers. Last 5 years with an FBO at Washington Dulles, private aircraft, obviously. Yeah, glad to join the forum.
Welcome.
My name is Glenn Patterson. I'm new to the board, live here in Lake Havasu. I took over Mo's operation, Lake Havasu Seaplanes, about a year ago. And so I'm the local instructor for that, and been a 33-year commercial helicopter pilot and fixed wing pilot.
Brian Schultz. Been a member of the board, I think 3 or 4 years now. Local CFI and examiner. Been flying about 21 years and just love aviation.
Ed Weber. I'm an alternate board member. I had 4 years of Air Force service, 4.5 years of active Air Force Reserve, 30 years of airline. I still fly at 84 years old and own an airplane.
Jim Dolan. I'm the council liaison. I fly 090 and 0105 hot air balloons. And if you see me land at the airport, it's too windy outside.
And I'm Damon Anderson, the airport supervisor. Right now I've been here almost 2 years going on. I think most everybody knows me, no doubt. And,
Welcome to all the new members. We begin with the call to the public, and I'm going to read the verbiage from the airport open meeting law. We will now have an open call to the public for citizens wishing to address the board on issues within the jurisdiction of the board. Your comments must be limited to 3 minutes or less. If you wish to address an item already on today's agenda, you should wait for that item to be announced for a public hearing. At the conclusion of the open call to the public, individual members of the board may respond to criticisms made by those who address the board. They may ask staff to review a matter or may ask that a matter be placed on a future agenda. However, board members cannot discuss or take legal action on matters not already on the agenda. Do we have anyone in the audience that would like to address the board on any issue? Seeing none, the first item of business is the minutes. You were provided the minutes via email of the last meeting. Do we have any additions or corrections to the minutes?
Nope.
I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes as published.
Motion to approve? Second.
We have a motion to approve and a seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, ready to vote, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Do we have any nays? Motion carried. Item 6 is the communications announcement and airport supervisor's report. And we ask that we turn this over to Damon Anderson for that. Damon?
Hey, how's it going? I'm excited to see all the new faces. I know I'm happy to have these new guys on board, no doubt. It's a new time. It's going to be good. I'm going to start off, I guess, give everybody an update on the grants, the status that we have. We've got roughly 4 grants that are active going through this year. I've gave you all a sheet that kind of shows the first sheet that you see as an email from the FAA shows the FAA grants that we have. It's just their federal share grants, but we also have the soil cement grant as well as the flush mount hydrant grant that's also federally and state funded, local. And then the other thing that you can see, if you see on that one email, one of the grants that we have slated is the design for the runway rehabilitate, which when you see that we have that grant, that also means that we're going to get the grant next year for the runway rehabilitation, or they wouldn't be giving us, the design. I mean, it's definitely a good start to that. And I'm proud to say this because, I mean, if you total up all these grants over 2 years, it's over $16 million worth of grants, and it's really rare that you get that much money from the FAA back to back like that. So we're doing pretty good being able to get that done. Hopefully it continues on the same path, and I think it will. You guys down in Scottsdale, Pisdo, they're really pulling for us. So master plan's getting finalized. We were waiting on the ALP to be signed by the FAA, and we did get that signed and approved the other day. And now that that's been approved, we're going to incorporate that into the final master plan. So that should be getting resolved here in the next few weeks or so. Another thing, kind of go over the fuel sales for the last year. I looked back at roughly around August at our fuel sales, and we've pumped roughly a little over 230,000 more gallons this year than we did last year. A lot of that, contributes to the military fueling contract that we got, no doubt. But that's a great thing. I mean, that's roughly around $21,000 of extra revenue that we got last year, and just in fuel sales, fuel flowage fees. And also, like always, I think most everybody knows we need some more hangars at the airport, so I'm continuously working on that. We've got several different ways that we're looking at exploring that idea. I mean, I think most everybody knows that I'm looking for the city to build these and do them in-house and what have you. But that being said, it's going to be, June of 21 before I find out if I'm approved to do some of those things or not. But we're definitely still in the mix of, trying to get some hangars built out there with the demand that we have. And I've got an appraisal in the mix right now. I've got Southwestern Appraisals out of Tucson. They're a pretty reputable aviation appraisal company, so I've got them on board to come out and give an appraisal. I'm going to pretty much do the entire scope of the airport from one end to the other, looking at ground lease rent, terminal rent, hangar rent, just everything. So we can definitely get us a fair market value established, and then that's going to be the ground floor to move forward with the hangar development as well, to be able to get all that business plans put in place. And, obviously with the grants, we've got some construction projects coming up. A lot of those grants are going to go out to bid, solicitate around in May of next year or so, somewhere in that range. But we also have some other construction that we're doing in-house. We did some seal coats around the hangars here a while back, and I was, slotted extra more money again this year for this next fiscal year. And what we're going to do is we're working on different types of material to go out and put an overlay, or I call it a Band-Aid, but on the runway. A lot of y'all know that the runway is unraveling and definitely is needing some attention. So we're going to go ahead and put some money on that to try to get it to last until the 22, 23, whenever the construction does start for the runway rehabilitation. I don't think it'll last till then, unless we do some maintenance on it beforehand. I'm gonna try to get I thought I had a date set down for it, but, the very 1st of October, I'll be sending out an email hopefully next week or so to everyone to, start doing a type of hangar talk. It's gonna be similar with the Coffee with the Mayor. We'll probably do it late in the evening out at the terminal. Try to find a time that's best for everyone, but I'm gonna start trying to implement that the 1st of every month. We talk about certain things, and if stuff there comes up, really important, what have you, that would need to go to council or anything like that, would, justify having a good meeting, well, we can have a meeting immediately, that month. So hopefully we can get a lot of rumors squashed and different things like that when we have some of these meetings, and that way we have an open forum to talk and, have an open dialogue where we don't have to follow the open meeting laws and such for. And another thing that's very exciting that we've been working with Mr. Glenn over here, and we're hoping that eventually we're going to get a seaplane base going out at on the lake at some point. We've got several different areas we're looking at, but that's been very encouraging and fun to explore, and I definitely got positive feedback from everybody we've talked to, and it looks like a good thing. So we're hoping that's going to come to fruition. And that's about all I got. One other thing, I did grant a gentleman permission to fly a paraglider out off of the edge of Charlie Taxiway. He's going to be coming out. He's got lots of hours to really sit down and spend a lot of time with him to make sure he's going to be safe and the whole bit. I'm going to be watching him, but he's going to fly a small pattern over next to where the hang gliders do their, flat pattern, but he's even going to stay further to the west of that. And he's normally slated to come out 30 minutes before daylight, and at best he's going to be there 30 minutes after. But just be aware that he can possibly be out there, be looking for him, but he shouldn't be in anybody's way and, staying out of the flow of traffic and all of that. That's all I've got.
Does anyone have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Damon, if I may ask, the hangars, the new hangar that you envision, what kind of capacity are you looking for, and would that fall under the airport, or would that be subleased to the FBOs?
I'm wanting to do it under the airport, and we're gonna look at a whole gamut of different sizes. I mean, I've got some people that's got, extra long wingspans. We've got the strike commander out there that needs an extra longer, wingspan coverage to get in. We're also talking about building a very large hangar with lots of offices in it as well, and possibly turning it into a flight instructor type building, scenario. As I say, we're looking at several different options like that. Even looking at possibly opening up some land for individuals to do some hangar development on their own. That's something we could do that actually would get going, and I wouldn't have to wait for the budget to come through. You know what I mean? I can just go ahead and get some land out there, but it doesn't benefit the city near as much as if the city was to build them themselves and get that rent themselves. But it is an option to at least accommodate the community and the needs that they have.
Anyone else? Ed?
Just out of curiosity, Norm, do we get very many noise complaints? And if so, is there any general area that gets more than others? I know a lot of people are outside more now since they can't go anywhere else. They stay at home but outside. So is there any area that we get noise complaints from?
I've only gotten a couple of noise complaints, and kind of shockingly, but and it's when an F-35 or one of the fighter jets comes through, mainly an F-35. It's shocking how loud they are. But I've only had a couple, and it's when they come through, and it's normally over on the kind of around the Desert Hills area, somewhere along in that area, along the edge of the lake and the river over there. But I mean, it's but I haven't got that many, to be honest. I was shocked. We haven't got any from the Ospreys or any of that nature. Other than a few people at the airport themselves.
Even is the hang glider going to be radio equipped or non-radio?
Yes. Yeah, he'll be radio equipped and making radio calls.
It's obvious to me that the Scottsdale-Fisdo is certainly recognizes the vibrance of the KHII airport, and beyond that, the fact that we're getting these grants tells me that they recognize that the staff is responsive to their needs to go forward with the various issues with these grants. So from me to you, thank you for keeping up with all that.
I appreciate that. No problem.
Okay, we'll close and go to the next item, which is a public hearing, and it's discussion and appointment of chair and vice chairperson. This is, so we'll just open it up to anyone here would like to nominate someone. Let's do the chairman first.
Are you the chair now, right?
I am.
Okay, do you want to continue?
I would.
Yeah, okay, well then I nominate you.
Yeah, I
Mark,
nominate-
Is that appropriate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'd like to nominate you to continue in your position.
Mark?
Yeah, I'd like to nominate you as well, or second his motion if needed. That's a nomination for
Any nominations for
Shannon
anyone
Stebbins.
else?
I'm too new. I'm way too new.
Winner, you're it.
Okay, this is a call to public. Let me open it up. Is there anyone here that would like to speak? Okay, would anyone like to make a motion to the effect that I will remain as the chairman for the next year?
I motion that you remain as chairman for another term or next year.
I'll second that.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? We're ready to vote. Anybody opposed?
Steve?
Okay. The next item is the vice chairman. I'd open that up for nominations.
I'd like to nominate Brian Schultz as vice chair.
I would second that nomination. Brian, are you willing to accept that?
Absolutely.
Anyone else? Once again, it's a public hearing. Is anyone present that would like to discuss the nomination? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion for the nomination of Brian Schultz for a one-year term as vice chairman?
Make a motion that we elect Brian Schultz as one-year term for vice chair.
Okay, Glenn Patterson has made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
And Tony has seconded the motion. Is there any discussion? If none, we're ready to vote. Anyone opposed, please say nay. Unanimously approved. Item 8 is future discussion items, and that's when we go around and figure out if there's anyone on the board that has something that they would like to be discussed at a future meeting. And we'll start with Tony.
Not right now. I don't really have much to say. Again, so new, just watching to see what's going on and who's who here. But I think Damon's doing a great job as an airport supervisor, and he seems to be steering in the right direction from what I can tell. So I don't have anything new or to talk about at this point. Thank you, though.
Mark?
No, I just like an update coming up on the air show, the Red Bull Air Show. I'm teasing, but I would like to know if anything like extravagant is in the plans for this fall.
Yeah,
Good. Katrine?
Nothing at this time. I'm sure with the coffee or open sessions, I'm sure that'll bring up some topics that we can then discuss further on the board.
Glenn?
I would like to see if we could bring up for the next meeting a more concrete plan to start talking about our possibility of a hangar flight school. If the guy that's coming out to do the hang glider guy now is doing training, is that correct? Is he doing training?
no, it's just an individual.
It's just an
Flies
individual, okay, yeah.
recreation,
So there's opportunities that several flight instructors out at the airport, myself as a business, probably an A&P possibility. If we as a committee could start working on some future rendering of what a flight school facility might look like, we would have plenty of time to do that by February for the budget process. And then next June, if it got approved, they could break ground in July. As an agenda item, I'd like to see us try to push that along so that it's not something that we have to scramble at the last minute, and we can have plenty of input and plenty of time.
Brian?
Couple things. Damon, on the supervisor report, upcoming events, was there nothing, or did we? You'll come back to that?
I was gonna come back to that.
Okay, perfect. And then the only other thing, maybe an update, I know you were discussing, I believe out of Fullerton, maybe there was that airline that you were talking to, and some updates on that.
Is that Hayward? Right?
Thank you.
Hayward.
I appreciate that, Tony.
Ed?
I'd like to thank Damien for his taking on the coffee with the mayor meetings. I think that's going to be a very positive thing for the whole airport and the tenants of the airport and also the city. I just hope that this virus thing will go its way so we can start getting some things that the residents of the city can come out to the airport, see more about what this airport is really about. I don't think that we're having enough things right now that can get into the paper so that the people of the city appreciate how much this airport brings to the community, how much money it brings, and also the fact that if we didn't have this airport, it would be devastating, I think, to this city. It brings that much to the city itself.
Damon, did I cut you off before did you have something else to say about future events? Go ahead.
The only upcoming event that I've actually got going right now, I mean, some of them, like you said with the COVID, they're hit and miss, which ones are coming. The Hangar 24 Air Fest has been canceled this year. It's not going to be going on. I did talk with the gentleman today with the Red Star Pilot Association, and they're going to be coming out with, they've got 14, 15 aircraft. It's going to be in the middle of October. And they're going to come out to do some kind of formation clinic flying, and they've got a bunch of old warbirds, Chinese, Russian, American warbirds, T-34 Jacks, Nanchangs, I think. Anyhow, so I talked to him today, and I thought, since we're not having that air show or what have you, I thought if nothing else, maybe we can get some flybys, where people can watch out of their house, out of their backyard or something to that effect.
Like a little air show.
Yeah, something. And so I called the guy today, and he was all on board for it. So he's going to be in on I believe he's flying in on the 15th. He may do like a welcome type of fly-in when he comes in, one formation as they show up. But then after that, they're going to be flying Friday and Saturday, and then leaving out on Sunday. But as of right now, the plans are they're going to be doing formations of 4 to 6,
Have a seat up
7
front.
people.
You can have a seat in the audience. I'm sorry, we already seated the board and the meeting's almost over.
Since 6 o'clock.
5:30. Go ahead, Damon.
So they're going to be doing some formation flying over the lake and what have you. And I told him just mainly focus on the bridge through the channel. Go up and down the Arizona shoreline more or less. And they're going to be doing them in the morning, the afternoon. I'm going to talk to him a little bit more. It's just kind of quick how it came up today. But they're all on board to do it, 2 or 3 times a day. So if you're out and about Friday or Saturday, and just keep your eyes in the sky, you may see several of these warbirds flying over doing some formation flying. As of right now, that's the main thing I've got. Like I say, everything else is just still kind of up in the air when it comes to the whether or not the COVID thing is going to allow anything to happen or not.
Okay, item 9 is future meetings. The next possible scheduled meeting is Wednesday, October 21st, 2020. And that is the close of the agenda. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I could motion to adjourn.
Okay, Tony has made a motion. Do you have a second?
I'll second that.
Second of Brian Schultz. Without opposition, we are adjourned.